I got a chance to go to Malta during COVID and early stages of COVID now, because the film and TV industry were still working. They were going ahead and that was considered like necessary work. It was amazing to be away, but I just worked for 12 hours a day. Sometimes it doesn't matter where you are if you're busy. Like, it definitely was nice, but I'd say we got 2 half days on the beach over 2 months, whereas everyone thought I was just like sipping mojitos all
Running
day.
yourself off in Malta.
Yeah, I was just doing exactly what I'm doing here.
Hi, my name is Judie Russell and I'm a video trainer and producer with the Vid Academy.
Hi, my name is Sian Horn and I am a business and marketing mentor. I teach businesses what they need to know to stay in business. Also the founder of the Club Women's Network and Elite Pilates and bbell.com.
Hi, my name is Jen and I'm the founder of a paid advertising agency called Lemon 7 based here in Cork.
Hey, I'm Jay Woodard and I am the creative director at Ad32, a content production house that produces content for SMEs and corporates.
Hi, my name is Aoife McNamara. I'm a remote video editor and podcast producer. I'm also the producer of this podcast.
Today's episode is brought to you by thevidacademy.com. Are you looking to upskill in video production and storytelling? At the Vid Academy, we offer comprehensive training for all levels to help you master the art of video through bespoke in-person training and online courses. Visit thevidacademy.com to find out more.
Hello and welcome to episode 38 of Unbranded. Unfortunately, today we are minus a Shan. Shan is in some exotic location where she can't access Wi-Fi today. And that is why we've decided to make today's episode all about working remotely or even working from anywhere. And this is where we bring in our amazing producer and editor, Aoife McNamara, who is working from France for the past year almost. And she does a lot of edits for me and Jen. Jay, for some reason, is slack on pulling Aoife into his production workflow. I don't know why.
Not myself.
Yeah, that's the first question. Jay, why aren't you using Aoife more? No, I'm joking. So we're delighted to have you here with us, Aoife, and you'll have some great insights into the whole thing of working from anywhere. But Aoife, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about how you're managing actually to work from France, and because I think all your clients are in Ireland, and how it's all going.
Yeah, no, everyone I work with is in Ireland, which is amazing because that was definitely when we were planning to move to France. That was a worry. I don't speak fluent French, so how would I get a job here? And definitely in a more traditional office sense, it wouldn't work for a long while. So yeah, being able to work remotely with Irish clients is a lifesaver. It's amazing.
It's insane. And you had to go through the process as well of setting up a company in France. That was quite difficult, was it?
Yeah, it was definitely a learning curve. I was really lucky that I have the support of my boyfriend's mum and everything. So she would come to the meetings to translate with the accountant and everything. Yeah.
Amazing. Cool. So cool. Jay, have you ever worked? I know you do, you get to travel a lot and stuff like that, but have you ever gone the digital nomad thing, as Jen was saying? I haven't heard that term in a while, but I love that word. Did you ever get a chance to do that?
I would love to do it, but I missed that boat, to be honest, because by the time I was working for 96FM, I was doing the digital marketing for them and all that kind of stuff. And I was kind of getting into the world of marketing and that whole thing. And then I left to Huckleberries. And then I had my first kid during the launch, whatever. It was funny. I announced on the Friday, I had my notice into 96FM. On the Monday, I found out I was pregnant. So I was like, oh, Jesus. So I never got that chance to go be a nomad for 3 or 4 months, work abroad. I would love to, but I don't think for us, I think we need to be on set, don't we? We need to kind of shoot. I would love to just edit and stuff and just be there. I'd love that for a month or two, just kind of live on a beach and it would be class. But no, I never have. But look, there's always time. I could leave my wife and children for a month and say, I'll be back later.
They'd love that.
Love it.
Jen, you're in a new location every time we join the podcast. So you are living the digital, I suppose, working from anywhere dream. But have you ever gone abroad to do it? And do you like that as a perk?
I find anywhere that I end up in the last few months anyway, the first few days it's oh, here's my laptop. And then the next thing it's and I need a second screen. I need a desk. And I need, a little saddle chair because of my bad back. But yeah, I haven't worked abroad for more than 3 weeks at a time. So I haven't really done the whole digital nomad thing of country hopping and avoiding tax, which also sounds like a dream, by the way, side effect of digital nomad life sometimes. But like, for example, when I was doing a lot of work with Velocity Growth, we would have been back and forth to the States a lot. So that involved just bringing the laptop with me. The only downfall to this is that I find myself a lot of the time, for example, I went to a wedding in June in Spain for 10, 12 days or something. I think I didn't work 3 of the days. And I even worked on the day of the wedding. So I was, I end up, if I bring the laptop, I'll end up working. So the digital remoteness has its disadvantages too, anyway, at least for me, because I take it everywhere with me. I don't stop.
You need to have that mindset of this is a work trip more than this is a trip.
But once the laptop's in the bag, it's inevitably a work trip.
Yeah. Because if you go out there and you're like, oh, I'll be on the beach and stuff, like, he's like, well, no, work is first. And then 5 o'clock comes, do what you want or whatever the time be. But that's also a negative with working like with the States, Jen, is it where you'll work your Irish morning, you'll do all the morning, you'll do all the stuff. And then the States are starting to come online between 12 and 3 o'clock. And then are you going longer, or do you have like a blitz time where you're saying to your clients, you can get maybe between 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. Irish time, whatever that is. How does that work for you? Or are you emailing people 8, 9 o'clock tonight at night time?
The latest that the Americans will wake up is on the Pacific coast, and 5 p.m. our local time is 9 a.m. their time. So they kind of know to catch me between 9 and 11 a.m. at a push on the Pacific coast. But actually, I'm lucky because most of the clients that I work with stateside, I would say 95%, are on the East Coast or Central time. So 2 o'clock rolls around and that's their 9 a.m. And then by the time 5 or 6 rolls around, that's kind of 1 or 2 o'clock their time. So the bones of the day has been covered. Once upon a time, I used to do 9 to 2 and then do again from 3 to 8 or 9 o'clock and do a big long split shift day. But now that's tightened up a good bit. So I still do a little bit of the split shift stuff on a Thursday in particular because that's where I kind of squash in all my calls. But most days now, they've been working with me long enough to know when I'm online and when I'm offline.
Do you know how the tax thing does work though? Do you know do you have to, if once you're just not residing in Ireland for something like 6 months of the year, then
3 days.
Is that it?
Not that I haven't looked into it. 183 days.
You have to be outside of the country.
You can't be in the country for more than 183 days. I don't know what the remaining amount of time adds up to. So if you were, but the same rule is generally true for other countries. So that's why it becomes difficult because you can't split it between 2, because that would be 183 days and you'd actually end up needing to pay tax and getting all these regulations to deduct tax across 2 regions. So the ideal is you actually have to split it across 3 regions.
So break this down for me.
If you're doing it in Europe.
183 days, you don't pay tax if you're out of the country, is it? Or how does it work? Sorry.
If you're, so 183 multiplied by 2 is 366 days. I think that covers what would be a leap year. So if you're out of the country more than 183 days in the year with residency elsewhere, you're not a resident in Ireland. You're not obliged to pay tax in Ireland. The exception to that is if you have a property or something that is actually physically in Ireland that you would owe tax on that. But no, in theory, you could spend. I'm not an accountant. I've only just done internet research on this. So forgive me if I'm wrong. Please consult with a professional before taking any of my advice. But I believe if you did say 3 months in Ireland, 3 months in Spain, 3 months in Portugal, and 3 months in Germany, let's say, for example, you were residents, your residents there during those times, then you're not technically obliged to pay tax to any of those regions unless that one of the regions you're in has a shorter window of time for residency.
You just do your homework. That's why a lot of celebrities would have Irish bases, is it? And then kind of the Irish loophole tax. Yeah. And it's you could also just go to a tax-free zone like the UAE or somewhere really small like Romania is at 10%, I think.
Right. Do you know, though, I think with this whole like digital nomad thing, I think the theory of it is so much nicer than the reality of it. Now, Aoife, you're in a different position because you've got an actual home now in France and you're making a whole life there. like, I got a chance to go to Malta during COVID and early stages of COVID now, because the film and TV industry were still working. They were going ahead, and that was considered like necessary work. So a friend of mine was producing a TV series in Malta, and she's like, do you want to come out and come with us and do some work on set? But like, you can still do your own job while you're there. So I got to go out to Malta during lockdown for 2 months and live in the plushest apartment ever, because nowhere was rented. Like, there was no tourism in Malta. So everywhere was extremely cheap. And because of her, like, she had to put up all the crew. I think there was like 60 people that she was trying to accommodate. So because of that, then we were able to get like really nice and cheap accommodation. But like, in saying that, like, it was amazing to be away. Nothing was open there. You weren't allowed like to do a lot of things, but also I just worked for 12 hours a day, like with the curtains closed, because there was too much light coming in from the sunshine. And, like, looking back at it now, I'm like, I should have taken more time off, but you're kind of just like, sometimes it doesn't matter where you are if you're busy. Like, it definitely was nice, but I'd say we got 2 half days on the beach over 2 months. And like, whereas everyone thought I was just like sipping mojitos all
Running
day.
yourself off in Malta.
Yeah, I was just doing exactly what I'm doing here, but just in
Sweaty.
a different country. Yeah, but
Yeah.
sweaty. Yeah, with frizzier hair. Exactly. Now, how do you think though I honestly thought that it would make wages more equal across the globe when you're able to get, like, say, an editor from a country on a much lower kind of minimum wage scale. But that hasn't seemed to happen as much as do you think it's difficult to find freelancers from other countries? Do you just still prefer working with local people because of the communication ease and stuff like that? Jay, go for you first.
Yeah, I like since our collab videos, I've had a lot of DMs from Eastern people or Middle Eastern people, like a lot of Pakistani people, a lot of that kind of region, saying I'm a video editor, I can do all this kind of stuff, this kind of view. But I just, for some reason, I don't. Obviously, I'm not even hiring Aoife, and I don't mind someone across the globe. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I just, even the likes of Fiverr and stuff, I've rarely ever used it. I don't know. I just, maybe it's just, I'm like, I want, it's not supporting local, but it is kind of at the same time. Do you know what I mean? I know these people, they're in my circle that I want to give work to more than that kind of stuff. If it's producing something, or, other photographers or whatever, or other video creators, if I'm not able to take the project. But yeah, I don't know. I've never really, I don't know what it is, to be honest, but I just never thought of using them,
Yeah. Yeah. Like, because I really thought it would like change the game, but it hasn't. Well, how does it work for you, Jen? Do you hire people from Fiverr and Upwork and stuff?
Well, I've this one really annoying one in France. No, no, I've Eva based out of France, people in Hungary, US. I've worked with people out of Uganda, actually, surprisingly enough. Mumbai, Bali.
Okay, we get it, Jen. We get it.
Have not really, yeah, but in terms of wages for them, they kind of set the price kind of comes from them. Like, I don't go out with a price. I say, well, what, it's usually freelancers and contractors, and it's like, well, what's your rate? And we go from there, and they're normally benchmarking off of what they potentially assume is a higher end from their local market, because working remotely didn't necessarily distribute on a wider level of like socioeconomic circumstance, I guess. The wider picture in your local region will determine what is good or bad. Like, if we all 4 of us decided to up and go out to, let's say, Sri Lanka or somewhere in the morning for the month, or Thailand or somewhere, or Vietnam or Indonesia, we'd have a great month. We'd be absolutely delighted with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But it would bring into the context of the wages then, I guess. So I guess usually I let people bring their expectations to me first, because it's not up to me really to place what's good or bad for their own region then as well.
Yeah. And what about you? If is it from the, I suppose, the freelancer kind of point of view, do you think it's difficult to find clients? And would you be going, like, now that you can kind of service Ireland so easily, would you be like, now I need to expand and try and get American clients or Australian clients or other English kind of speaking countries? Or are you like, no, I'll stick with the contacts of the contacts because there's just some bit of safety there or something?
Yeah, I think from my point of view, I think for the moment I would be sticking to like the bubble of Irish clients and like people who kind of know people. Um, just
I
for
meant to
that.
say,
Yeah.
have you seen Crewless.ie?
Yes.
There's a job in there. I'll send it to you after that could work. They're looking for a remote editor and they're Irish and they're based in Cork.
Amazing. Yeah.
I'll send
Like
that to you.
even stuff like that, like Crewless, that helps find crew in Ireland. Like I would use something like that maybe because it's Irish. But I haven't I had looked at Fiverr and stuff before, but not yet.
And what's the tax thing for you? Is that super annoying? Is it 23% or is it 13.5? What's the crack? The service tax for you? Because are you charging French tax or are you charging Irish tax? How's that work?
I am charging French tax and I'm actually really lucky at the moment because I'm a young person working for myself. So I get for the first year taxed instead of it being I think 22%, I get taxed 11%, which is
Okay.
really nice at the
Mm.
moment. And basically it's just like an online, you just go for the past like 3 months, you type in what you earn, they just take it out of your account. So it's super simple,
Nice
which
for
is
clients.
amazing.
They have a bit more cash flow then. They're not paying you the extra 12.5% on top of projects, you know?
But I think in France they don't have that value-added tax. Like when we do our US invoicing, or even when I invoice US clients, because they're not obliged to pay value-added tax, there's no VAT applied to the invoice as well. Do you have to apply an additional tax to your
No.
invoices?
I don't have that, or I think it's TVA, I think is what they call
Okay.
it. But
So you don't, like
I just,
Jen or whoever, there's no VAT on top of that invoice for them because you're in a separate country, is it?
yeah,
Okay, I get you.
yeah.
Interesting. And
Yeah.
if there was anywhere in the world that you could go and work for a month, where would it be, Jen?
I'd like to go somewhere very remote and work on a project for probably work on my own stuff during the way, but somewhere where I'd be completely isolated to put my head down and burn through like another project. Because I've you'd have stuff whirring in the back of your mind that you never really get down the time to get down and do the nuts and bolts of. So Sweden, Norway, Iceland comes to mind, somewhere like that, where you're just like in a hut somewhere, just like, all right, I'm going to grind this out. But I've never actually done that.
Nice.
I spent the weekend on the edge of Mizzen Head and I was standing there just looking out over the rocks and I was like, I could get loads of work done down here.
I grew up only about 20 minutes from there.
Amazing. Oh, what a
Yeah.
place. Just like Ireland has so many places. But like my 5G was better there than it is in my own house. So that's why the thought came to me. I was like, I burn through so much stuff here with the bit of isolation, you know. Jay, where would you go?
I go complete opposite, to be honest. If I only had a month, I would do like, you're gonna fucking cringe. I do like LA. I'd go properly and I'd go networking and I'd go to all these meetings and I try and set up meetings and I try and meet people. Like that's how I would go it and just try and get my scripts and try and meet people and try just, if I have a month, that's all I have. I'm like, let's go. Like,
You're dead right. I have a friend who does that. Like, you know, she takes work trips like that, but like it writes it off. You know, that kind of way. Like, because she is going out and setting up these amazing meetings with people and things that she would never. Again, like it's like, you know, I suppose you can build a reputation remotely, but there's nothing like being in the room with someone to forge a relationship,
especially with us. Like, and Jen, you might know as well that like when you have meetings with American people and stuff, you kind of shine in the room somewhat with your accent or you're different. Do you know what I mean? You're kind of something that's different in that kind of sense that, and as well, we have the crack. So people understand, like even if you said, oh geez, it's a bit of crack. They're like, oh, it's a bit of crack. Like it's whatever happens. It just, you're more rememberable to them, you know?
Yeah.
So it's good to get in the room.
Judy, say potato. Say potato again.
Yeah.
Say it. Okay.
Potato.
I love that stuff though. I think it's class.
Like,
Aoife, you're already in,
like.
yeah. If you're already in France, so like, you know, it's lovely, but it's also 40 degrees where Aoife is in France and it's really, really warm.
The first place that came to mind was like Alaska or something, just somewhere cooler at the moment.
You have aircon?
No, we don't.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I was talking
Humidity.
to this. Yeah, no.
Well, it's raining where I am, Aoife, so I can't even. I'm not even going to tolerate this conversation.
Do you want to swap?
Yeah, give me the rain over 40 degrees. Like,
it's definitely something to get used to.
So Aoife and Jen are going to cold place, or Jay is going to network. Jeez, and I'm going to Mizzen Head. But it would be like, what is stopping? I think, my mom every now and then she's like, oh, come on, let's sell her house and like move to Spain. And, it's a lovely thing to kind of think about. But then you're like, what am I going to do in Spain? Like, yeah, the
Right.
weather's nice, but like,
You thrive.
I think the grass is greener until you're actually there. And then you're like, I don't know about this anymore.
A big thing for me would be food. Like
Yeah.
our food produce is phenomenal. Like, don't be
Mhm.
hitting me with no white butter. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Don't give me white butter. Don't give me
Yeah.
bad milk.
I had that problem a huge amount in the US, which I was really surprised by because I try to eat relatively healthy, but you'd go to the shop and a thing of grapes might be $13. Like it's just so it would actually be not affordable to eat the way we eat here
No,
in a
get an
million
Irwin
years,
smoothie for
which feels bizarre.
$25 smoothie. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like,
Yeah.
Come here, I got a message from a guy. I was just thinking of this there a couple of months ago, and I can't remember where he was from, but he was like, I've recently decided to relocate to Dublin. I'm a filmmaker, or I'm involved in some kind of film and TV. Like, I'm just trying to introduce myself to people. So he was going through Instagram, kind of making introductions and stuff like that. But I was like, why Dublin? I was like, of all the places you could go, like I
London,
think
anywhere, like even Galway. Galway's a better call. Like, get involved
What
with
would
the film
you-
flat and just fucking.
Would you know that if you were abroad? Probably not.
How do you mean?
Like
As
you
in,
would-
like,
yeah,
you wouldn't have the local context to know that the biggest city isn't the best choice necessarily. Like I love a good Facebook group. I love sassy Facebook people. But there's a group I'm in where when I was moving first from Kerry to Cork, I was like, I wasn't really sure if I was going to get a place of my own or rent with my mom for a while or what I was going to do. And I was like, right, I'm going to have to suss out places that take pets. So I joined this group on Facebook that was like, places to rent in Ireland with a pet. And it is just flooded with people trying to move here from other countries being like, hey, I'm a student. I have an unbelievable like backlog. I'm the best of the best from my country coming to yours. I have a cat. And everyone's like, no, not a fucking hope. No, can't live here. But it's that again where it's like, that's a bizarre concept that's primarily in Ireland. I mean, like, it's very difficult. Like, it's near impossible to. I think when I was looking at DAFT, there was 2 places in the entire country that were pets allowed when I was moving at that time. And one was in Roscommon and one was in Louth. So, like,
Yeah.
It's just a missing context.
Yeah, what it is, I think, because when a few years back when we moved, like, before the kids were born, we had a dog, a big collie. She was gorgeous and like so tame. Had never destroyed any furniture like that. And we had to move house. And I swear to God, I was looking 6 months to find a place. I couldn't. And recently, I talked to people and stuff. And what it is the majority, 80 to 90% of the houses that are being let now are by estate agents. And they just don't deal with
Blanket
management
statement.
companies. They don't deal with pets. They could just cut it out immediately. No pets.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wild.
And I also wonder if age has something to do with it too, because when I was younger, when I finished college, I went away, and the first country I went to was Australia, and New Zealand. And I'd say I had €1,000 that I'd saved from working in Amazon when Amazon was in Cork, the customer service base. And I just arrived there with zero plan. And it was the most exciting thing ever. And I actually did that in 11 different countries. I'd just book a one-way ticket, show up. I think one time I had 400 quid. And like that 400 quid you have to get your accommodation and your job. So you're just like beating the pavement, running around places trying to apply for work. But at that time, I would have done anything. Now, within the rules. I've never sold feed pictures, but
Yes.
I like bar work, waitressing, like the most maddest jobs. Would I do that now? Probably not. Like if I was to move abroad now, I would want someone to pick me up from the airport and bring me to my apartment, and to get a week off before I start the actual work. So I think like younger people especially should do those things earlier on. And I know we're supposed to wait until we're retired. By the time retirement comes, you're like, I only sit in this type of chair with this type of material, and these are the only foods I eat. Whereas when you're younger, you kind of get away with anything.
That's an absolute travel hack as well. I would recommend it to anyone who's doing travel. If you can afford it, obviously. like now we're going to Portugal in a few weeks' time with the family. I'll have someone with a sign waiting for us to pick us up, bring us to the hotel, and I'll have someone pick us up from the hotel and bring us back to the airport at a certain time. I know it's planned. It's just chill. And it's maybe 20 quid, maybe 30 quid more, or maybe even 20 quid. I think this was like 15 euro more than an actual taxi. Like, why would you not do that? I know the kids are okay. I know the seats and all that kind of stuff, like travel hack.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it. Okay, and just also, I just want to go back to Jen, because before we started the podcast, Jen told us this incredible story. We can work remotely from anywhere. We the modern day has opened up communications that we can get jobs from anywhere, but also we can speak to anyone anywhere, and then anyone can access us from anywhere and leave comments on our stuff. So leading into, Jen, can you tell us your horror story of the past few weeks?
Yeah, so it's funny because the video that I'm going to talk about, I am, if anyone has ever seen my videos, it would be fair to say that I dress conservatively. Like, the worst you're going to see is my elbow, you know? So, I should say the best you're going to see is my elbow. I know. But I put up a video, and yeah, I was doing quite well. There was a few kind of weird comments on my appearance on that particular video, so I was removing them as I went anyway. And next thing, a company profile commented about my boobs on the post. And I was kind of taken aback because, I don't know, this shouldn't be normalized, and I don't know why I half think it's normal, but like when I get comments from random guys from around the world, I'm like, oh, whatever, delete. But when it came from a company account, I just felt like a little pinch off it or something. Anyway, I went and I found their phone number on their website. I screenshotted, I messaged them, and I was like, look, what's the story with this, essentially? Left it a few days. Left that comment there. Normally I would delete them straight away, but I left it there because I was like, this is showing more about that company than it is, anything else. So followed up with them again on Facebook Messenger, tried all of their avenues of communication, we'll call it, and no response. And then I was like, you know what, this is really shitty. I'm going to screenshot it, and I put it up as a Google review. And I was like, look, this is my experience with your company. It's not great. Here it is. And then I got no response all along. But as soon as I actually do something a little bit more forceful, I got a message essentially being like, if you post anything about me or my company, I will retaliate, essentially just being like, I'm going to sue you. And I replied, I was just like, yeah.
Was that response to the review, or was that done privately?
Privately. The response to the review was like, oh, I'm very sorry you experienced this. Please reach out to our team for like more help. And I was like, I fucking tried.
And I think it's important to say that you screenshot it and said, I'm going to post this as a Google review unless you reply to me. So you gave them like ample.
Oh, I gave them ample time. Yeah. Days. And
then did you? 4 or 5 days ago? 4 or 5 days ago for them to respond?
These were messages I'm talking about like last night, and it happened. When did I send the first message? On the 27th of July.
Yeah.
So like days and days and days ago. And the comment was sitting there for a few days because I hadn't spotted it before that as well. So it was just all crap all the way around. But then I was like, do you know what? I don't like being threatened in any way, shape, or form. And I just thought it was so shitty for him to say that. And then I was like, our screenshots and proof, feel free to do what you please.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's not like this guy is anonymous. Like, you have his name, you have where he lives, you have the company, you have him on LinkedIn. Like, it's a whole thing. Like, you can't hide here. Like,
no, and then it was like,
hell if you wanted to, like,
it, and it might not have been the guy I'm messaging, which is fair enough. But I'm messaging the CEO, and at the end of the day, he's responsible for his accounts and his team. And he sent me a message last night as well. I'll have to lock my guys out of my computer. I'd say it was one of the crew guys. Like, no crew guy is sneaking into your office, getting on your desktop computer. Like, come on.
None of the crew guys have access to the Instagram.
And then I went into his LinkedIn profile, and under his company, it's like, I run all the marketing for my business. I was like, oh, do you? Convenient.
Dope.
Oh my God.
So anyway,
Who
just be
is
careful
the
what
guy?
account you're logged into, and
comment
don't
shit like that. Like, don't be that
comment shit like that
poisonous.
to begin with.
Yeah, don't be poisonous. What are you doing? Like, fucking hell.
Do you
grow
remember?
up.
Do you know the guy on Instagram? He is just amazing. I forget. Maybe we've mentioned it before, but he
The guy who's
he goes through gym videos. Yeah. And he's like, "You're a cunt." So he'll look at, like, say a woman posts a video of her lifting something big, and then a man will comment like, "Ooh, too manly," and then he'll go into their
or
page
like not
and
a proper
blow up their
bench
page.
press, and yeah.
And then he'll go and like troll their page to say, "Oh yeah, you're a cunt," and it's just it
He's
gives
really
me
funny.
so
Just
much joy.
rips the piss out of them completely.
It needs to be done.
Yeah,
It does.
Needs to be
I
done.
could have a whole second account doing that, and I actually some days I'm like, I would love to tear into this, but I don't have time.
Well, if you want to go to Sri Lanka for a month, you've got a team of 4 here who will just focus on that for, like, a bit of time.
High-end cinematic retaliation videos.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be an
tips.
amazing series. Just saying.
Yeah. Okay, because also Jen was able to send us this guy's LinkedIn, and I'm on his LinkedIn page, and I'm just like, wow. Okay. Yeah. So, if we end up going and
there's a lot of
for
Trump
him,
content in there as well, though. So
Pro-Trump.
he does. That's what he looks like.
there's Trump
Very
vibes.
good.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you
Well, we
picture
won't
a
name
Trump
him.
supporter in your mind, and I don't know why this fits perfectly, but
Exactly. That's exactly him. Now, he is wearing a bit of a blazer and a shirt in his LinkedIn profile, but I can absolutely see him in a wife beater with, like, "Make America Great Again." So
They quit their jobs.
Yeah.
Merkel, it's scary over at the moment. But anyway, we're not
but when I went over to his Facebook profile, I was like, I obviously went deep and found all his profiles and pulled everything together. But when I went over to his Facebook profile, what struck me as like, do you know what? This is really shitty, because all his pictures were all his pictures with his wife and all his daughters.
Just morons. Plain and simple, absolute morons. Like, don't understand typing words. Like, it just fucking pisses me off so much. Like,
Yeah,
it's gross. Actually gross.
Yeah, especially like, because I have a wife and a daughter. Like, and I'm like, just idiots. Do you know what I mean? Like, what else can you say? Like, just fucking idiots. Like,
but it's this concept again as well of like, I'm someone on the screen far away with a big account.
There's no
doesn't even see their comments. We're not. The actual truth is that, like, I probably see 90% of my comments, I'd say.
Yeah, they think you're because you've 100,000 plus. They're like, oh, they'll never see this, and there's thousands of comments. But like, still though.
Yeah, because they don't even speak to you. It was a message. Like, the comment was like, I have seen her before. Not I have seen you before.
And that's the thing.
It's even the wording on all on messages I get, where it's like, she is or her, which is fine. But they when you default to that,
it's like
grammar phrasing. Yeah, it's you're not talking to me anymore. You're talking about me in front of me,
and that's it. And the thing
what
was,
they can't see.
It wasn't, oh, her boobs are amazing, whatever it is. It was literally like, I've seen her before. I didn't think her boobs were that big. Like, it was just, he was like stating something that he thought. He was literally saying he wrote a thought more than tried to sexually derogate, whatever it is. Like, you mean, like, it was so weird. It was just like,
so weird.
Clearly didn't think and just thought he'd get away with it or something. I don't know, it was weird.
Is this what Neuralink will do? It will just, like, take our thoughts, put them onto maybe he's hooked up.
Do you know what? Speaking of getting messages from people, like, I get like questions in the DMs. You're like, oh, how do you do this, or what do you know an AI tool for this, or whatever the case might be. There's actually a new website that I came across called 20 Minutes. And it is essentially like a barrier between you and someone else to text you. And they can type in, like, you set a rate. Let's say it's like a short question or a long question that you're going to get a text response or a voice note back to. And you can charge, like, say, $5 a question or whatever the case might be. And they just type in, and then they can process the question.
So for like $15, I can ask you a question and you'll respond.
Yeah.
It kind of values your time more than, show that to Shan. Fucking hell. She'll make a fortune.
Yeah, she'd love it, actually.
There was another thing that I wanted to talk about as well, which was, again, back to the kind of idea of remote work, which was Jen got a message this week, which is like, yeah, I'm sure this happens to you all the time. This person who's like, I'm planning on starting a web design agency using Wix because people say it's simple and there's no code. I also wanted to make content to get leads without showing my face. I would love to get advice from someone who has done it. Jen responds, I can't help with either of those, to be honest. Showing your face and doing hard work is what actually works. So in this modern era of being able to work anywhere with all of these tools that we have access to, now people are kind of starting agencies without any experience or putting themselves forward. Is it working though? Can it work? And can it work maybe for a small period of time, but not as a long-term strategy?
Yeah, there's short-term gains like to be made here and there. You know, like I'm seeing people who are making a ton of money off, and we've all been there when you're scrolling on TikTok or somewhere and it's like half video game at the bottom, half an AI voice with a stupid story from ChatGPT that you're listening to as if it's like a real story. And then there's someone like with a ping pong ball or something on the top. And it's just so visually amusing that you're just like, what is going on here? And you're listening to the story and watching something complete. Like the amount of landscaping videos that I've watched with like a story about like someone cheating on someone over the top of it. Like that is faceless content that just reaches so many people that you actually can pick up off the ad creator fund, especially in the US and places like that. Like you're just getting enough volume and reach to monetize the channel itself. Are those people getting clients and getting monthly retainers? I don't think so. I really don't. But there is ways to monetize that.
What's the ad creator fund?
On TikTok.
The creator fund, yeah. So same way YouTube monetizes, TikTok has a monetization fund. I don't believe Instagram does, or if they do, it's only rolled out in the US. But
yeah, they used to be European, but it's just stateside now. Same with TikTok. Ireland can't access the creator fund for some reason. I don't know. It's really annoying.
No, I was actually tempted to re-register my account.
Stateside.
Try to make it American, but kind of complicated. I can't do it on Instagram to save my life because everything has gotten tied up to that Instagram account and it's just rooted in Ireland now. But it's funny though, like even when I switch accounts into like an American client account, they have such a different experience. Oh my God. Like the data that you can see, the AI features, everything is like complete. Like their Instagram account, when I just toggle on my phone, it's like a completely different app.
But so if we could do it, could I turn on a VPN and then go into my analytics of Instagram and see who sent images and posts? It's still blocked.
Still blocked. Yeah.
I don't understand that. We can't see who sent our post. Or not even sent. We can't see how many people sent our post to someone. It's just outrageous, like how many shares.
No, and I did a collaboration with a guy in Canada recently and it blocked it then as well.
Canada's a weird one. They're really clamping down on creators for some reason. I don't understand why. The YouTube as well, there's a whole thing there. It was really weird. But to go back to your point, Judie, you see it everywhere. Everyone's a photographer. Everyone's a video maker at the moment, and it's just like it is what it is, and that's where we're lucky where we have the experience. We can go the tier above and say, well, look, we're actually high end. We're actually not fighting in the muddy and the bloody again. Like we're not doing that anymore. A video is not going to cost you 400 quid or 200 quid here. It's going to cost you the bones of 2,000 or whatever it is. And I think we're lucky in that scenario. But I think in this new age of everyone can be anything, it's great, but there's a lot of chancers and a lot of fucking shit out there that people are just taking absolute full advantage of.
I had a DM, this was months ago, and it was from someone being like, hey, are you working with this video editor? And I was like, this is not Aoife. Who is this? No, I am not. And they were like, oh, okay, well, it's just that they reached out to me saying that they did all your videos. And, you know, when I go to their website, your testimonial and your everything is all over it. And I went to their website and it was like a big picture of me and like all the things they had done. Essentially, it was like Aoife's portfolio, but on someone else's website.
Brilliant. Can you give me the website there and I'll just copy all that.
Yeah, duplicate it. Yeah. It was all in Spanish though, so best of luck.
And they took it down or what? What'd you do with it? I think we talked about this already, did we?
We did at some point, yeah. I found his WhatsApp number. I'm really good at digging. Look, if you piss me off, I'm going to find.
Yeah. TI is your second calling, like.
I know, CIA over here. So yeah, I found his number and messaged him and I was like, you're gonna have to take this down. And then he was like, I actually felt really sorry for him because it turned out he was like a kid.
That's right.
And he was like in essentially like a video editing farm somewhere in like South America. He was like, there's hundreds of us in this office and our boss just tells us to find influencers, make the page and start sending DMs. Like he really didn't know what he was doing.
Jeez.
Scary. But it's like that.
Okay.
People will take the absolute piss, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
But
going to
then
move to tips. I'm going to go straight for Aoife because Aoife, like, I suppose you were in a unique position where, you know, you were moving to France with someone who's from France, but would you do it again to another country? And if you were to do it again, what would you do differently that might help other people who are thinking of getting into remote work?
Oh God, I think I won't be doing it again for a long while. Yeah, like moving to France was definitely a lot harder and more complicated than I thought it would be. Because like obviously we're not like just traveling here; we're like settling here, like we're setting up a life here. But if I was to do it again, I would say find people or like even like accountants and stuff like that that can help you with the transition to remote work in a different country. Because like I tried to do it by myself first and like set it all up, and I found it really really complicated. So then we got help, but like reach out to people in the country that you're going to and go from it from that angle.
don't just rock up.
Brilliant.
Don't just do what I did and just be like, oh sure, it'll be grand. You know, we'll figure it out as we go.
I'm here.
Bonjour, love it. Emily in Paris.
Yeah.
Jane, say to people who are like, you know, potentially video editors in different countries, what would you say could potentially get you to maybe work with them other than a cold message on Instagram?
I think a few, like if you contact me through LinkedIn or website, whatever it is, Instagram, yeah, fine, but like don't let me click your page and have you one video or a photograph of a dog on your page saying your video. Like show me your work, show me your back end, show me your show reel, like make it, give me prices there and then, like this kind of stuff, or just get the video started. This, like, have an offer. Like these people are like, hey, can I ask you a question? I'm like, no, like, no, I don't have time. No, like, have it all in black and white for me. Simple. Hey, this is me. This is my backstory. Studied this. Here's my show reel. Here's the work I've done, clients I've worked with, and here are my starting prices. Then I might go, okay, cool. Nothing at the moment. We'll keep you in mind. And then there's something might come up. Like there was, like a pure example was I'm going through a rebrand of 32 at the moment, and I was like, oh, who will I use? What will I use? And a few months ago, Leah said, my buddy, she's based in somewhere, not here, Eastern Europe or something. And she goes, think of her if you need graphic design. We got together on Discord or Instagram or something, chatting on Instagram first. And like that, look, I have nothing at the moment, but if I think of anything, I'll be in touch. And now I've landed, I thought, right, I need a rebrand. She was my first port of call because I had talked to her about it. And there's a few hundred to €1,000 there, if not more for her. Like, you know, whatever the work is done, you know, whatever, I don't know what the price is going to be, but whatever it is, like, you know. So,
but you see, again, like it's the difference between a cold email coming in, because I know you're saying like that if the person does a good enough job in email, you'll think of them later. I never think of them later. But if Leah's referral, then you're going to the office, you're like, I need to rebrand. You see Leah, then that puts that trigger in your head. You're like, what's your one's email address again? You know, like I think the referral thing is the biggest part, isn't it?
even if they have reviews, if they have client testimonials, that technically, like, because I'd be like, okay, cool, this looks legit. The question is, most of the time when I get these emails or messages, is this legit? Am I trying to be scammed here? That's 90% of the question I'm asking immediately. If I can see people now saying that, Jen got done out by this editor who had Jen's edit. I mean, but I'm sure people fell for that, and as they were Jen's edit, because it looked so real. It looked like a whole thing, you know. So
yeah. But
Jen, what about
that's
you?
faking the referral then almost. It's
Yes.
faking the referral coming from me in that instance. But I actually this morning before I jumped on this call, I was doing out my new just my spreadsheets for Lemon 7 and just kind of figuring everything out. And I have this like spreadsheet where I'm like, okay, here's the name of all the clients. Here's where they came from, the months they've been working with me so far, their total lifetime value to date, and then, you know, a separate section then with like proposals out and projected revenue for the following months. And okay, so I'm just gonna blitz through this in like 2 seconds. So referral podcast, referral, LinkedIn, TikTok, referral, 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 Instagram speaking engagement, referral, referral. That's where they came from.
Wow.
I'm the same. Like I'd be 80%, 80 to 90% referral. Like we're going to work together soon in a project, Judie, because you referred me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how the business works. Like it's all referral. Like
Yeah, like that, and I've enough followers to. You would think it would be way more distributed. Now my Instagram monetization comes through a separate tab that I have on the sheet called. I just call it like I separate agency from sponsorship deals. But in the same breath, like that's what 85% referral, probably 90.
so would a tip be if you are going nomad, just get networking, get to places, look at those meetups, all that kind of stuff.
I think it's really about find your first 5 clients and do great work for them. Like this isn't me networking or anything. Like my first client I had was the referral source for about 4 of these. Then there's this guy who saw my LinkedIn content and then started referring. So that's a double attribution. But another's like maybe 5 or 6 of those are referrals, and he's never worked with me. He's just also in the agency space and happened to stumble across my content and then started referring work. It was difficult sometimes to kind of go, where is the attribution? But if it comes from, hey, if I get an email saying, hey, blah, 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 introduce me, then whereas like yesterday when I got on a call with a company, they're like, we've been watching your videos on Instagram. And then I was like, hey, that wasn't a referral. This was from Instagram.
I got an email from or LinkedIn message from a guy, and he's like, oh, hey, Judy, I've learned loads from your videos. Would love to buy you a coffee or have a Zoom with you. And I was like, grand. And I set up a Zoom and I was like, I don't actually know what this call is about, but you know, that like it was Friday and I was like, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, hey, how are you doing? Anyway, he ends up giving me a half an hour of like, he's like, what's your business model? How are you making money?
No.
Okay, la, 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 la. And then he's like, okay, here's what you need to do. And he like, he's actually like kind of organizes masterminds and stuff like that. But he was interested in my stuff enough to.
He tricked you into a pitch.
But he doesn't want anything. Do you know that kind of? He's just like I really appreciate your tips. Do you think so? No, I don't think so.
We went on the back foot there, agenda. We were like, oh.
No, I don't think so.
No, I 100%, Judy. Sorry.
Tons of information off you. Firstly, of how you run your entire business.
He got all your business model out of you, and then started pitching you on what you should do next.
You're telling me lies. I don't believe you.
We've been through this. We've all been through this.
I'm going to follow up with you.
Like, red flag, red flag, red flag.
Let's see. If you get a proposal from this guy in the next 3 months or another request to like pitch you something he does, let us know.
You ask
and if I don't, I'm going to make you do something
like
eat a sock. Okay. Eating a sock would be better, but whatever. Okay.
Thanks.
Right, guys, we were probably running over. Come here. Do I bring up the elephant in the room? I haven't made a YouTube video in a long time. How are you doing? Oh, Jay, you made a good one. Congratulations. Thank you.
Danke.
Yeah, yours are looking good.
Danke. The cameras all look good. Guys, come on, let's go. Let's go again.
I know. I actually really want to go
Jen,
again.
what happened with you? Is it just too time consuming?
No, I'll tell you God's honest truth. My first video did really, really well. Crossed like 10,000 views the other day. It's at like 10,400 or something. Everything else I post doesn't do anything. It goes to shit, and I get like.
Well, you kind of did that
disgruntled by it.
Reposting old stuff, and then you knew it wasn't going to work, but you were just meeting the deadline. There's a whole thing behind there, Jen. The first one you were good to go. You wanted to make it. It was proper. You were in, and then you were like, "Oh, I have to make a video every Friday." And that's where
so maybe I'll like strip it back to like one solid video a month or something. But I actually have this. The reason why I did out my growth dashboard and all the stuff this morning was I want to kind of light a fire under my newsletter. And I was thinking of treating it like an investor update.
Oh.
So once upon a time, I used to have to do an investor update at the end of every month, but it could be interesting to like cross out the names of the clients and maybe their values and just have it running total line item, but do it as like a build in public, follow along the ups and downs, and do it like an investor update. I
also wonder if you did a Jen where you unlisted the video on YouTube and you could only get the link on your newsletter.
Yeah.
as a selling point of view.
Potentially.
Do you know, like
Yeah,
it's
potentially.
just, it could be my monthly breakdown of everything is only on my newsletter and it's unlisted. Obviously you can share it after, but like, be a cool idea.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. But I was thinking of doing something like that, but then it was only when I was like gung ho on the idea all week, and then when I came to actually writing it this morning, I was like, this is very exposing. But I still might do it.
Check out a guy named Jay Close, Clouse, and he does that kind of thing where at the end of the month he goes through his entire earnings, where he made everything, how he broke it all down. He has a thing called the Creator Science, I think it's called, and he has a creative collective like I tried to do, but he has a really good one. Definitely check him out. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Good podcast as well. He has Jay Close.
Yeah.
And just ending on that then, Aoife, what would stop you from doing a YouTube once a week? Like I know you love editing and the post-production side of things, but is there something else preventing you from maybe just doing updates to camera or filming kind of your life in France and stuff like that? Quite a personal question now, but...
You're pretty reserved, do you? Do you feel like you're kind of reserved more than don't feel the need to share kind of job?
Yeah, I like the privacy and stuff, but I don't know. Like it keeps coming into my mind every so often that I'd love to like share it, even around like Nîmes where I live is like a really like Roman town and stuff like that, to share some of that and like how working from France is. But then I guess I just need to get into the like setting time aside for doing that. A lot of my time is like editing for clients and stuff, and then when my time off I like go for a walk or something. So yeah, it's definitely not ruled out.
Yeah, you're not an attention whore like us, basically.
Yeah.
Look at us, look at us, look at us.
Yeah. Take my leg.
Oh, we're so lucky to have you, Aoife.
Thank you.
Right,
Guys.
I will wrap up episode 38 there. We'll be back next week. Shan may not be able to join us. Like I asked her to send through a video, actually, just like saying why she can't join us. I really want to see it because she sounds like she's like, I need the internet. How did I get here? But sometimes that's good because it's forced relaxation. Another thing I just want to end on, I watched The Beanie Bubble on Apple TV this last week. Really good movie if you get a chance to watch it. Really good insights into marketing and the boom of internet marketing and stuff like that, and how it got the beanies going. And I will wrap up there. So thanks a million for listening, everyone. We would love your questions and your comments on this podcast so that we can read them out. So send them to any one of us.
As long as they're appropriate.
Yeah. Don't talk about any of our boobs. And we'll probably talk about just Jay's boobs. We'll do a whole episode on that. Thanks a million for listening, and we will be back next week. See you soon. Thanks, Aoife, for joining too. Bye.
Thank you.